everyone, Kat here, your favorite ginger bibliophile. And we're finally gonna do the May wrap up, even though it's July. Yes, that is how far behind I am, because life. So, we're gonna do the usual start with the physical books, then we'll get into the ebooks, which is the editing part that I have to do. I gotta go find all the pictures and whatnot. Not a lot of editing, but more than I usually do, if I'm honest. And these aren't in the order that I read them, just in the order that it was easiest to carry them, basically. Because I ended up reading, or at least partially reading, 13 books. There was also some DNF. So I've read Queen of the Damned by Anne Rice for the buddy turned group read with Elaine over at Cobalt Dragon, Alan from Big Hard Books and Classics. JB, get off of that furniture. I'm gonna bite you. Yeah, you have two other scratching posts, not my chair. And he's so very sorry about that. If those of y'all that have cats, y'all know. Speaking of people that have cats, aside from, Elaine, there's also Leslie over at Books, Gers, and Purse. I always want to say that backwards. And Stuart Griffin, who that was his first live doing our discussion with us, so that was awesome. And this is, well, there's a movie called Queen of the Damned. It is not this book at all. There's elements of this book. There's also a lot from the straight up Lestat, and then they made up or changed a lot. So this is one that if you can't do multiple POVs, you ain't gonna like it. That's what killed it for me the first time I tried to read this when I was younger, is there are so many different characters. Most of it only get a chapter because, well, then they get killed because our Queen of the Damned is not a very likable character. She's kind of evil, and she is just offing everybody, so we get to watch them die. But, we get to kind of find out her origins, how, we find out more about Marius and the twins, who are, they're kind of like my favorite part. I do like the twins. There was Jessie, who, it's a good thing I reread this, because I could have sworn she was made up just for the movie. And the relationship is not the same as it is in the movie at all, but she does actually exist. So, it's, well, we'll be discussing it thoroughly when we do our next group discussion in August. So, we started off doing a book a month in February and then went life. And oh, hey, y'all want to join us? Okay, we're kind of like delaying it so y'all have time to get started. So, it is what it is. Yay, now I'm ahead. This was one of the ones that I got for Christmas. It's Dark Alchemy by Laura Bickle. I have never heard of this author, but I saw it. It looked kind of cool. I put it on the, maybe if it goes on sale wish list, and Daddy got it for me because he has figured out how to find my Amazon wish list. And here you go. So I got lots of books. And this one, this is as close to a Western as I'm getting. It's kind of like sneaky urban fantasy, but set in like national parks in the Midwest. Basically, we have this chick who we don't find out until like later, but you can tell that she's running away from something bad that has happened. And she is a geologist that is now like, here, I'm gonna go out here and kind of do the geology thing, but mostly I just need to be away from the water because bad things happened. And things are not at all what they seem. And where she picks to go is the last place Daddy was, because he went out for milk and never came back. And she's like, he didn't just abandon me, even though he did. I'm going to find him. And yeah, she starts finding really creepy, messed up stuff. And there's, crows involved. But yeah, she's out in Wyoming. There's some dark magic going on. Some of the folks know, some just go, there is something off about some of these folks. We just don't know exactly what. And I'm super jealous because she ends up getting a coyote for a pet. She didn't even go and like try to get it. It's just like, oh, hey, I've decided you're my person now. Oh, you think I'm not gonna find my way into your trailer to snuggle with you? No, I am your guard dog. I will protect you, and I am snuggling at your feet. And I want a pet coyote. They're adorable. I would totally give one good belly rubs and cold cuts if that's what it takes. So, yeah, there's more of these, and I gotta keep my eye out for them now because I really like this one. So, yep. And this is one that was, yeah, has been on the TBR pile for. I, I think this is one that came off my shelves actually. Yes, it was. So this is one of those like 6, 7+ year old books, and as Matthew over at Man with the Hat would say, "What am I waiting for?" This was so freaking good, and it was older than I thought because it feels like it could have been COVID inspired. But I bought it when I lived in New Mexico, so that was before COVID. But we've got these folks opening like a tomb in Mexico, and then everybody there dies. So we send the, CDC from Atlanta down to go, what the heck? And of course, there's some corruption of, whatever, we're going to steal this, these goods. And of course, they get contaminated. And, ooh, hey, we're just going to get this virus and, do with it what we will for money because, evil and rich and why do billionaires and, mass murder seem to go together? But they do so well, and it's not really a stretch. But so we've got all that going on. There's a little romance, and I really don't know why. It's like, hey, we want to reach this group, but we also want to get this group of people to read it. So we're gonna manufacture romance that is just makes no freaking sense. But thankfully, it's like a small plot point, so it's easily ignored. Because that is really my only complaint is you just force these two to crush on each other and hook up for like no reason. And of course, like we were both fighting it, and now we're absolutely in love. And oh my god, we're gonna have a cross, like the world romance and plan our marriages and name our children. But in the next page, like let's get back to real life because we're stupid. So for the most part, yeah, if they got rid of the romance, it would be amazing. As is, it's still pretty freaking good, and I need to find more by this guy. Because it's James Thompson, the Anthrax Protocol. I wonder if he has more. I remember looking him up, but that was a while ago. Probably does, and I hope they're in the same vein, but without this stupid romance bit. So good. I don't know why I keep trying Stephen King, but I read Thinner, and folks said it was doggy friendly. It wasn't nearly as bad as most of his doggies, but it still wasn't. The gypsies were bad, their victims were bad. As everybody in this, except for like the little teenage girl, was bad. And like they had a little dog fighting ring, so the good guy helping his friend was like, they're gonna suffer, so I'm just gonna off them more quickly. But it still wasn't that quick and it wasn't nice. But basically, like we have a snobby suburbia, and then we have gypsies, and suburbia doesn't like the gypsies, so the gypsies curse some of the folks, and things happen, and it gets out of control on both ends, and revenge, and yeah, I just really didn't like hardly anyone in this book. It wasn't even that spooky, it was just, this is kind of gross and weird, and you weren't nice to the doggies, so y'all all deserve to bite it. And I don't think everyone did, so I'm mad. So yeah, this is one of those I read it once. I'm going to either try to sell it or donate it to the library for the next library book sale if my used bookstore doesn't want it. And we gonna go from there. I had high hopes for this. It seems really cool. It's deep black, part of the dark zone. Bad Bob. Stop knocking over my books. Sorry, Elaine. Yep. The ghost name is Bob, and there was no reason for those books to fall over. It wasn't even slanting, and now they're all on the ground. Ghosts ain't got no manners. I'm gonna throw my books on the floor. Two of those were good. But basically, this is like it. I was hoping it would be more like Sigma Force, and on the one hand, it kind of is. Like we've got this, sneaky spy group that's, ooh, we found out about this technology and we need to get it because otherwise, the bad guys are gonna take out the world with it. It just the writing style of it did not work for me. Like one of the characters was kind of, smart alecky and always had a quip for something and I kind of liked him. But then weirdly enough, like some of the action scenes, the way that they were talked about was just like you kind of need to get better at your description. You're kind of reusing the same things to be, oh my gosh. And it just I read it once and it wasn't terrible, but I can't see myself going, oh my gosh, I need more of this. So, like, if you come across it and there's not any, like, better, like, action books available, it's not bad. But, if I have a choice between him and, Matthew Riley, I'm going Matthew Riley all the way. And that's not even James Rollins. James Rollins is always going to win. So, it is what it is. And then we have the DNF. I really wanted to like this. I mean, it looks so creepy. And it had such potential. But then our main guys are basically, well, it's not even basically, they are freaking, 1940s Germans. Not the, abused kind. The other ones that if I say what they are, it's going to get taken down. And then we have our good guy who, like, accidentally saves the trash. Because, he was a cop. He didn't know they were trash. Just, hey, this thing's about to blow up and off some people. And he, like, ends up blind for his efforts. And then, our 1940s bad guy, who is also, of course, rich, is like, oh, hey, I'm going to use you to, like, I'm dying, but I'm going to take over your body so that I don't really die. And, like, he finds out that these people are evil, and he still goes along with it. I skimmed to the end because there is a doggy in this, and I needed to know. And, like, it isn't violent. It's mostly, like, off-page. But there is a black lab, and then there wasn't. And I love Susie, because black lab, aw. But it was mostly the whole, the good and the bad were both kind of bad, and they were those guys. It wasn't nearly enough of this Cthulhu looking thing. This was basically just there's some like monstery thing in my dreams, which is like what they're. Oh my gosh! Turns out, is this real? I've been dreaming this for months, and it is very important. But I think I didn't like his other series that had a good premise, but the writing did not work for me. And once again, interesting premise. Hated the characters, hated the writing style. That, though, to be fair, I paid like $1 for it. And then the star of the month. Yay! Like, y'all already knew if y'all know me. It's Christopher Moore. Like, you either love his sense of humor or you hate it. There is no in between there because it is very quirky and weird. So we have Anima Rising, which I just found out about in November, and then it came out in May. And Daddy beat me to the pre-order for this, so this is my Christmas present that arrived in May. And it's so good! Like, I tried to read the original Frankenstein. I know why she wrote it the way she did, but the characters just made me so mad I couldn't freaking do it. This has Frankenstein very much in it. But we also get Freud and just random like painters and like the bride of, Frankenstein, and like it's a good freaking time. Like we have folks, we have a doggy that eats people because the doggies do not all get happy endings. It is mostly just like implied. It doesn't like happen. But we do get to know that, hey, they get to go to like doggy heaven, and we get a doggy god out of it essentially because, oh, I'm just a cool husky. Cross me and I will be big enough to eat you in one bite. And I love it because, yes, doggy power. And do not mess with yeah, they're supposed to be models, but they're also kind of, they work with the painter, they got to hook up with the painter. That's part of how they get paid and, have a place to live. But we get the chicks standing up for each other, Frankenstein getting some stuff, and this is just another one of those really weird sense of humors that there was action, there was sass, the settings were amazing. It just was a good freaking time. If you like Christopher Moore, this is on par with all his others. You will love it. It was just way easier to read than the actual Frankenstein. And messing with Freud was just, oh, it was so good. I love the commentary on him. If you don't like the weird sense of humor, because, it's weird enough for everybody, yeah, sorry, I can't help you there. But, yes, this was my book of the month. And so now this video is already running long. Thankfully, there's not too many left. All my ebooks. There was Mango Digger by Bill H. Myers. I'll find a picture and put him up somewhere in editing. And this one, it was supposed to be like a, adventure murder mystery, but with a cat. It was, we get this dude that's like kind of sort of owned by a mob bossish type, and his daughter's gone missing. They go off to find her. He gets saddled with a weirdo to take the trip with him. And then they just find out that there's just a bunch of weirdos going on, and it wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it was just kind of there. Like, even if it was fresh in my mind ready yesterday, it didn't leave much of an impression. There's Ice by Kevin Tinto. And I freaking love this one. This was another one of those, like, archaeological, action-y. Believe it was a trilogy. It has been a minute now. And it just, like, it was a good freaking time. If you love the archaeological, you love the action, you're gonna enjoy this. Like, we have stuff from olden times. Basically, oop, somebody froze. This is kind of like what things were back in the day with our Neanderthals and our mammoths and whatnot. Things happened and it was good. I love me an archaeological thriller. Ice Age is very entertaining to me. So it just, yeah. I had a fun time with it. I want to find the rest of this series. Woo! Ah, hey, why'd you go that far back? But basically, like, stuff is found. There are some aliens. It gets, modern day goes looking for it. And of course, there's betrayal, there's government. We got some stuff going on. And yeah. You want action, you want archaeology, you want aliens, is good. So, there was that. I read Demon Bluff by Kim Harrison, which is another one in the Hollow series. And again, this is one of those, if you read the last book of what it was originally going to be, of a 13-book series, you kind of know what's up, because this is book 18. Like, she wrote 13 books and went, alright, I'm done. Here's an epilogue of what's going to happen in 60 years. So whoever's still here clearly lives. Whoever's not here, well, they ain't here. So there's not really a lot of, oh crap, this is life or death. Are they gonna make it? Like, that's all gone. So it's a good book, but it didn't have the suspense for me. So if you haven't read the series before, do not read the epilogue after Witch with No Name. So then you can still go, are they gonna make it? Are they not? What's gonna happen? Like you will have more like high stakes. But yeah, it's a good flipping time. And it's basically just once again, we have Rachel who is, is a very powerful witch. And this is book 18, so sorry I can't not give some spoilers. She's also a demon because there's some stuff that goes on with that. She's hooking up with an elf, and the demons and elves hate each other for, millennia. There's some beef there. But our elf is in hiding with the demons because the other elves and witches are evil. And she's basically being blackmailed by some snobby little teenage witches that think they're powerful, basically because, well, we are the law. So, once again, it's do as I say, not as I do, because I'd be in jail for doing the things I do if I didn't make the rules and say that they don't apply to me. So, she kind of has to work around all that crap of, you're trying to blackmail me and screw me over. And I can't fight you without, you know, doing something that I will get in trouble for, even though, you tried to off me multiple times. So it's angering, but it's also kind of like, yeah, get them, get them. And it's her series, and there's more books in it, so the main character has to win. It is the Hollow series, or as most people call it, the Rachel Morgan series. Rachel Morgan's going to win, and she's a redhead, so don't piss off the redhead. There's also Midlife Bounty Hunter by Shannon Mayer, and I read one of her series last year, and it was so freaking good. So I found this one, read the first one, and it's exactly what it sounds like. We have this chick who has had a bad life up to it, moves back home to Savannah, Georgia, which I'm from Georgia. I've been to Savannah a couple times, so it's nice, kind of like visiting home again. And got rid of the ex-husband who is, he doesn't even get named because he is that bad, and finds out all this, magic stuff is going on that she thought was just, grandma being woo woo, old lady in Savannah. And yeah, there's sass, there's action. I love their skeleton buddy. Is so good. So if you want like a nice, lighthearted, but still, kind of dark, comedic, like midlife, urban fantasy, is good. There's Earth Spells Are Easy by Renee George. And I think I liked this one, but exactly what it was, we gonna have to pull up because I'm not totally prepared for this. And it is the May wrap up that we're recording on July 3rd, so some stuff has happened since then. As has been said, I've slept since then. And ooh, I shouldn't have done that one. So, ooh, I grabbed that one before I should have. Oh well. So, yeah. This is another one where, chick is newly divorced, life ain't going well. She's kind of middle age. She got a 43-year-old with a kid, and suddenly magic is real. And she thinks she's going nuts because my gnome is screwing with me. It was just supposed to be a gnome that I would have gotten rid of, but my mom loved it, and mom's dead, so if my son moves it one more time, I'm gonna whoop his butt. It's not my son. It's the gnome. Can move itself. And mouth off quite a lot. And then she finds out she is an earth witch, which is like one of the most powerful. And also, like, if she doesn't come to terms and figure out how to handle her magic very quickly, it will literally blow her up. So, you know, no pressure. It's the first one in the series, so like we know she's going to survive, but how? And like what? That's a whole nother story. But it was sassy, it was smart alecky. The the gnome was my favorite part. She just had so much attitude. It was great. There's like kind of sort of hints of romance, but I don't think it's actually going to turn into that. I don't think. I could be misremembering a little bit. But yeah. So basically, like, we have cats, we have family drama of ex husband, teenage son. Oh crap, I'm 43 and apparently I'm a witch. It wasn't just my mom being a hippie, because like they're all adopted, and the adoptive mom was very much, you know, flower power. So yeah, do with that what you will. Er, oh, Goodreads, why'd you do this to me? Mixed, got all my stuff all kinds of out of order and confusing me. So, yep. There was also Death's Intern by DC Gomez. It's just another, like, young urban fantasy. And yeah, I gave that one 4 stars because it was a good time. We've got this chick that, kind of accidentally had a part in somebody falling out of a window. Turns out that was Death's intern, and since she offed the intern, she now has to become the intern. And yeah, hilarity ensues. But she was just this, nothing going on. Life is not at all what it was supposed to be. Now I'm going nuts and having these dreams and seeing these things, and oh crap, it's real. Death is real. Death is in my head. And now I work for her. So, yeah. But like it was, for me it was very much character driven, and they were good characters. And then I also read Sally's Lament by Mary Mancusi, which is part of the Twisted Disney series, where instead of Jack Skellington finding, Christmas Town, Sally finds it. And so things kind of go from there of, some of those people, like, it looks all nice and happy, but that's only on the surface. There's some bad things going on. And so, if you like Nightmare Before Christmas, you will probably like that book. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because this is already a really long video. So hopefully y'all enjoy it, and I will see you soon. Bye. Happy reading.